this is 5 wide receivers I'm benching going into week 8 of the fantasy football season. And the first guy this week I'm benching is Juju SmithSchuster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw him finally have a bounce-back game last week versus the Tennessee Titans with 9 catches for 85 yards. But this week it's going to be another bad game, I believe, for Juju SmithSchuster as the Steelers versus that tough Raven defense. And Smith-Schuster, he's the second or third wheel in that offense. I think it goes Connor, Deontay Johnson when he plays, and even Chase Claypool. We saw get a lot more looks, except last week over Juju. So Juju, he's got a tough matchup. Ben has so many weapons to spread the ball around to, like we said. Eric Ebron, I could be seen as a sleeper in the middle of the field this week. So Juju, if you could stay away from him, I definitely will, because I just don't see a 16-point game like he gave you last week for Juju Smith-Schuster. The second guy I'm benching is Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears. The Bears, once again, have a pretty tough matchup versus the Saints, who don't give quarterbacks many fantasy points. And Nick Foles, he's been struggling since he came in. Robinson, he was better with Mitchell Trubisky on the center, who could stretch the field and hit him down the field. But Robinson, since Foles is coming as quarterback, he's only had mediocre games, giving up 3 receiver numbers he's giving you as Robinson. So once again this week, I just don't see him doing much with Nick Foles behind center. It's going to be a windy, cold day in Chicago where you're going to see the ball getting ran a lot and a low-scoring game, in my opinion. So Allen Robinson, I know you drafted him high in the second or third round of your fantasy drafts, but this is a guy I'm staying away from most weeks because his ceiling with Foles at quarterback seems like it's 12 to 13 points, which is decent. But on your teams, like I said, he's a high receiver. So that's the second guy I'm benching. The third guy is DeVante Parker, who was having a great season with Ryan Fitzpatrick on the center. But now with the rookie Tua Tagovailoa coming in, I don't see Parker's numbers going up. I see him going down, and it's going to start this week versus the Rams, and I expect Jalen Ramsey on him anyway. So even if Fitzpatrick was still the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, I would have benched Parker anyway this week with the best corner possibly in football on him and Jalen Ramsey. But now with the rookie Tua on the center, I keep saying this in all the videos that these Miami receivers are going to take a big hit, and that's what I see here. So bench DeVante Parker. The most I could see him getting is 8 to 10 points this week with Ramsey on him and the rookie quarterback on the center. So the fourth guy I'm going to bench is Jarvis Landry. I see a lot of teams in my league still starting him. And Landry, he doesn't have it anymore. He's not putting up the production. Baker is barely looking his way. It seems like the Browns are based off the running game, obviously, and throwing to the tight ends. So Landry, he's not creating separation either. He's more used as a quarterback, it seems like, than anything for some trickery plays. But now with Odell out for the season and Hooper out of this game, there's no one to stretch the field open for Landry to get open in the middle and underneath routes. So Landry, I'm going to stay away from him in this game. He's banged up also with the ribs. And the fifth and final guy I'm benching in Week 8 at wide receiver is Darius Slayton of the New York Giants. I thought last week he was going to have a monster game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, but he didn't. It was Sterling Shepard who came off the IR and took some targets and snaps away from Darius Slayton. Slayton, he's had a couple good games this year and a couple dud games, but now with Shepard back and Golden Tate still playing, I'm going to bench Slayton in this game. He's got a tough matchup versus the Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday Night Football, and Darius White might be covering him anyway, who might be the best corner in football this season. He's definitely up there with the likes of Jalen Ramsey, but it's just not a good matchup for the Giants or Slayton. Daniel Jones, a very inconsistent quarterback, so it's hard to start any Giant, to be honest, besides Barkley, but obviously he's been out the whole year now. So Slayton's the fifth running back I'm going to bench this week, so that's fifth receiver I'm going to bench this week. So that's 5 wide receivers I'm benching going into Week 8 of the fantasy football season.